Let's make your job easy.
It's fair to say West Coast superheroes lit up Marvel Stadium on Sunday afternoon to help the Eagles notch their 14th win of the year and 6 of their last 7 to draw level with Geelong and Brisbane at the top of the AFL ladder. Welcome to this week's episode of Eagle Review, proudly sponsored by Kennards Hire. Hey, we're out there on site next week, Benny Roberts.
Looking forward to it.
Exciting times. I'm looking for plenty of discounts, probably going to get none. I think I'm going to have to head to kennardshire.com.au for all of my top class hiring materials. Now, Benny Roberts, let's focus our attention to Sunday. Another solid victory on the road. That's 9 straight in Melbourne, can you believe?
Yeah.
And 4 this season. Carlton have been coming though, 5 out of the last 7 from T. They've been playing good footy, and I think the inaccuracy early from West Coast, despite
2-5?
Yeah, and 7-5 scoring shots. And even Carlton getting on top, first 5 forward half entries of their second quarter, I thought, oh, are we in for a bit of trouble here? But I guess when you have Nick Newman boot 3 goals in the opening term and Walsh 12 touches and a goal, can they sustain that for a long period? And in the end, they couldn't. And West Coast just flicked the switch and found another gear.
And it was a good period for the West Coast Eagles. 7 goals in that second quarter. Their efficiency was elite. I think they had 5 goals from the first 5 entries in the second quarter. We'll talk about efficiency in a moment. Simo touched on playing different ways to find your way around different teams, and perhaps they found a new way around or they just clicked into gear. But they kicked 12 goals to 4 in quarters 2 and 3. 7 of those in the second quarter, 5 in the third. So it was a really great period. And the Eagles have been playing some good football for a while now. They were 11 of the last 13 games that they've won. Since round 7, the best offensive team in the competition. Most for points scored and for points per inside 50. So their efficiency is good. And we'll, as I said, we'll touch on that yesterday. 50 entries for 24 scoring shots. So nearly at 50% there. Only team in the competition to average 90 points since that period, as I said, since round 7. So going nicely, working their way through the season. They're all tough. And then, as we said the other week, just want to try and finish as high as we can on that ladder.
We'll touch on the forwards in a minute, but the backline have held up strong yet again, and the team defence playing a great role. Usually if we restrict our opponents to less than 80 points, we'll win the game. That's been the case in 2019 for everyone bar just the Collingwood game here at Optus Stadium. And it was led in the first quarter by Tommy Barrass and Jeremy McGovern. 7 intercept marks for West Coast in the opening term. And I guess with the forward line, Benny, we'll go to them because if one doesn't get you, another one will pop up and do so.
Very dangerous forward line. Some have said the best forward line in the comp, but they're in the mix, let's put it that way. There's some very good forward lines out there, but the Eagles will be very happy with the one that they've got. You've got a great in Josh Kennedy. You've got an emerging great in Jack Darling, dominating at the moment, another couple of goals to him. And then you've got the mosquito fleet of Ryan, Rioli, Petruccelli, Cameron.
Lightning quick, those
Lightning
boys.
quick. It's as you say, if one doesn't get you, who do you stop? Who do you try and stop? And if it doesn't matter if you just get it in there, there's just so much dangerousness. Is that a word?
No.
Dangerousness. Well, it is now. With that mix, and then you've got Cripps who can come in next week as well.
Big addition.
Oscar Allen spends some time down there. He's very versatile. So in terms of a forward line, kicking the ball to, licking your lips as a midfielder or someone delivering inside 50.
You'd have to say the best on the day was Liam Ryan, though, with his 4 goals. This mark, Ben Roberts, I can't get over it. It's probably one of the gutsiest things I've seen in some time for a bloke weighing in the low to mid-70s.
It reminded me of Jonathan Brown's mark at the G that is one of the great marks. It was really, really courageous. I mean, and even Simo said post-game, in the granny, he had a chance to go back with the flight, and everyone's had those moments. Let's not harp on about it too much, but in this case, we can put to bed the courageous thing. It was one of the most courageous marks you will ever see, and he's gone high, he's gone wide, and now he's gone back with the flight, courageous style. He's got the full set.
Yeah, look forward to seeing what's going to win Mark of the Year out of those 2 at this point in time.
Yeah, like what? Spectacular. Courageous.
Well, I think it's a coin flip, to be perfectly honest. Jack Darling, one of the forwards that stood up in that second term, he also went back with the flight in the goal square, took this ripper. But his 2 goals, one was in the ruck. The amount of goals he's
very good in the ruck.
Oh, mate, he's generating scores and opportunities, and very good for a pinch-hitting forward that's done very little ruck work in his career. Willie Rioli was just so creative. His 2 taps, he was auditioning for the Olympic volleyball team, did it nicely. One setting up a goal that he got on the end of in the end, and this other one to Jake Waterman, just sense of knowing when the right time is to do. And I love the goal assist he had to Luke Shuey as well. The handball where he's had to twist the body a full 180 degrees and find him. Shuey didn't miss a beat on finishing that one either. I did also have a bit of a chuckle. He had a great chase down against one of the Carlton players, but in the end it was at his detriment because he got the ball back, and that has turned at absolute right angles. Hopefully what Nathan Lyon will be doing later this evening.
Fingers crossed. Jared Cameron kicked his first goal away from home. So
that's a remarkable stat.
Another little milestone. It was a good goal too. Pushing through stealing it off Carlton and pushing through the pack with a bit of toe. So good to see him on the board away from home.
Good finish. Hats off to Elliot Yeo. 150 games in the AFL, and celebrating with a win is always the most important thing. 25 disposals, 14 contested, another whopping double-digit tackle count in 10. 5 clearances and 4 score involvements. Quite a game.
Jeez, he's a good player. Jeez, he's a good player. Second round pick paid for him. That's all I'll say there. Beaten in the clearances for the first time in a little while, but that didn't matter. Shuey and Gaff, 28 between them, 11 inside 50s between them, so finding the ways to get it inside 50. Hickey in the ruck, 19 touches.
That's a lot for big Tom Hickey.
7 clearances. He's very good at grabbing the footy and hoiking it forward. Liked it. 5 grabs. Beat them in goals from centre bounces by 3, but beaten stoppages, as I said. So it was a good day for the guys in the midfield, albeit with the clearances going the Blues' way.
Now, it was the second straight game that we've returned a clean bill of health from the team, but unfortunately, looking at the Waffle Eagles on the weekend, it was sad news for Liam Duggan, who had to be helped from the field in the early stages of the first quarter with a lower leg injury. We'll have to have our eyes peeled of the St John of God health injury report to see what the prognosis is for there, but just so unfortunate when he'd been waiting and working so hard for a month to get back.
Yeah, and we don't know how bad it is. It might not be that bad at all. Hopefully it's on the lighter side and he'll be back in no time. Brander's done a hamstring. Well, hopefully we will know more in the coming days as he gets a scan. Fingers crossed there. But good news, Hutchie got through unscathed. It's his return from a hamstring. So he'll probably be on the selection table for Simo heading into Sunday.
Yeah, kicked a ripper goal on the weekend too for some Brooksby hit out work. Time for Kennards roast of the round, and it's a bit of a lighter list, so let's get stuck into it. Tommy Sheed probably got to put his couple of drops in there. Very uncharacteristic from the safe hands of Dommy Sheed. But speaking of Dom Sheed, how's the Carlton banner at the start of the game?
Bit of a toast, you might say. A toast, not a roast, but nowhere else to put it, so it's going to be in the roast. But think a positive roast if there's anything like that.
And Liam Ryan's mark, you know, everyone saw it, very highly talked about. I think the commentator was getting a bit tongue-tied talking about it, to be honest.
And Ryan has got 4 in the goal of the year. Goal of the... Let's go back again. A mark of the week contender.
Yep, commentary a miss there. Gov intercept moment, great stuff, but then played on Udia and then pushed outside, nothing. Looks like goose. One of the plays of the day coming up here, Redden over the back of the head to Gaff, streaming inside, and then can he cap it off? No, he can't.
Unfortunate. Going straight to around the grounds now. Big Kale hooker. That's a fair shank off the tee, that one. I reckon the cameraman thought he was submitting a strife for a minute as well. We're going over to the Suns v Pies. I think this ball went out of play a fair few times. Hoskin Elliott didn't care, to the point where he even threw it back to side bottom. Golski.
I've just got more shanks for you, because shanks are always very prominent in there. Lynch, massive shank for the Tigers here, massive shank, but he's going well. He's going well, looking ominous. Dylan Clark kicking it the wrong way. This happened to Cunnington the other week. Whenever this happens, it's amazing that it can happen.
It's 5 minutes into the quarter. Like, if it's the first bounce, I can understand it, Benny. They've played 5 minutes.
Anyway, humour, and it's roasted for sure. And always, a miss from the goal square is always going to make it. I think we've flagged this before. That is an instant roast.
Yeah, McCarthy just slapped it through on the end. That was a bit odd.
Don't know what's going on there, but roastage.
Now, the winner, though, we're going goal square bound.
Is it BT? 3 in a row?
Nah, he's just escaped this week, BT. Congratulations, Bristol. But it goes to Bontempelli. And this one, when they had all the momentum, the Dogs, missing from the goal square, as if that wasn't bad enough. The hero, the man, Thor in the crowd. And he pumped you up for the AFL brand campaign too. That's just not how you repay Thor.
Kennards make your job easy.